KKHT wants you to meet the classiest guys in real estate.
This is Tim O'Neill, the icon of insurance.
I'm Chris Kelso, the Meister of Mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate. And together we are
the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate in the greater Houston area is hot.
So whether you're buying, selling, owning, or insuring real estate in the greater Houston area,
you need to check us out as we are the preeminent source for everything you need to know.
And now, they're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack.
Good morning, Houston.
We're getting better.
We're getting a lot better, aren't we?
Yeah, a little more practice.
I'm trying to post our Facebook.
You know, we're going
stuff
into
right
our
now.
fourth year.
We are going into our fourth year. I forgot about
We started
that. You're
March
right.
15th.
Yes.
And, you know, here we are.
Here we are. Can you imagine
And
that?
they said we'd never last.
They thought we were going to be a one-hit wonder.
That's right.
And now we're a
We
four-year
fooled them.
hit wonder.
So anyway, we got a pretty exciting show today.
We have a great show today.
A subject we've had before, and a subject we'll probably have again. We can make sure we bring these great professionals back. We're going to talk about relocation.
And I always like to say it 3 times. Relocation, relocation, relocation.
Exactly. Well, you know, we've got Michelle Sandlin, and she tell us about who you're with and...
Okay, well, I'm actually with myself. I'm a freelance writer. I'm most, I think, well known for writing a weekly column in the Houston Chronicle. It's called On the Move. It appears every Sunday in the real estate section, and it has a focus on relocation.
And, of course, then we also have the wonderful Mary Piper from Bernstein Realty, longtime friends of ours.
Longtime friends of ours. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should have a party.
I think we got a party going outside right now.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody in the green room's having fun.
That is true.
So we want to talk about relocation. And, you know, oil companies have been laying off people, and that's been the primary source of reload. Tell me what it looks like out there, and either one of you can field this question.
I don't believe that the oil industry is the primary source of relocation. Houston is huge. There's a lot of industry. We did have a lot of movement last year in 2014 with the oil industries beefing up, and now we are seeing a little bit of a different market, but it's still very, very busy. Houston is still bringing people here.
Well, you know, and if you look at Houston in general, I mean, you know, we talk about this all the time. In fact, Ted Jones the other day was speaking about this, and he said that we have more employment in Houston right now than any time in the history of Houston. Almost 3.2 million jobs. And also our diversity we have now in Houston is no longer just oil and gas. We have the Port of Houston. We have our number one employer, which is healthcare and health-related services. We have technology, distribution.
You know, healthcare must be doing real well because I paid $568 for eye drops yesterday. So I just want to mention that. That's my rant.
Well, by the way. So
my rant.
That was the rant on Facebook for all those who want to go out there and hear a little bit about that. But you know, so you look at where we stand. Relocation is still very active. The thing that's interesting about it, though, is how it's diversified from what it used to be 20 years ago and 10 years ago and even 5 years ago to today.
Yeah, they can't see you shake your head.
Okay, yeah, I just want to add to that I think it's a really interesting statistic that as of December of 2015, there were actually more Houstonians employed in healthcare than oil and gas. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And, you know, just a really important message to get out there is that Houston is way more than the price of oil.
Yeah, I saw actually was reading an article the other day that basically we have zero job loss.
Right.
Zero, because they kept talking about it. And I've had a friend got laid off yesterday from an oil company, but we keep bringing people in for all those other industries. And so it's really kind of I survived the 80s. And it was pretty bad because oil was under $10 a barrel at that time.
Right.
And so it did. We had pipes in the yard. We had oil companies, especially drilling, it was just over. And so port, medical, retail,
you got technology and technology-related services, you got distribution. I mean, you have a lot of stuff out there. Banking, mm-hmm. And Houston it's such a great time. I mean, we're the number one real estate market in the world, I would say right now, as far as activity. Still, even today, I mean, I was talking to somebody last night, and even though we were in a hyper market 3 years ago with 2 months of inventory, We're in a great market still today with about 4.3, 4.4,
4.6 depends what
4.6 months of inventory. And an average market is 6 months of inventory. So, I mean, you look still, we're in an incredible market. Obviously at Bernstein, and Mary, you've been at Bernstein for a little while. Great organization over there, great real estate company, but you've seen a lot of activity as well with all of your staff.
Well, Amy has had Bernstein Realty for 31 years. I've actually been there for 16 years. And we are busy.
Yes.
We are seeing a difference in the real estate market for sure. But actually, there's now time for people to breathe. If they're seeing a house, they actually have time to consider buying the house rather than rushing with multiple offer situation. So we're just seeing a lot more balance.
I like it better because I actually ended up writing a class about multiple offers, and we had one listing during that hyper time. We had 96 hours, had 91 showing, and 27 offers. That's really not healthy.
It's not.
You create a bubble. Ultimately, it's not good for the buyers because they're going to overpay, and of course, you probably were in situations where people were offering $50,000 over list price, depending on the price range, of course. But and then you had issues with appraisals, and
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't like about that.
Well, from a lender perspective, I mean, I get a call from Wayne all the time. Can I get another pre-approval?
We are
you
still
just hate
bringing
that.
people here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just hate that. Well, tell me how you started in the real estate business.
I fell into the real estate business, actually. I didn't know that I was going to start a career in real estate. I just happened to have my green card. I also relocated to Houston. And when I had that green card, I needed to utilize it. And it was my blessing that the job I applied for was with Bernstein Realty. And I've been with them for 16 years, working my way through different positions.
And you were originally from where?
England.
England.
Now, that we were talking about this before the show started. It's really unique when we bring in some of our European buyers. They definitely come here to Texas and they really see a difference. And there's certain needs and wants that sort of must, because like I live in Texas, I live in Houston, I have to get this. How does that buyer differ from, a North American buyer or somebody from somewhere else?
When people move from Europe, they are a little surprised sometimes if they're coming from European cities with the public transport, but they are overwhelmed with the size of the house, the closets. Everybody loves the closets. And a lot of people moving to Houston know it's hot and they want a pool.
Well,
That's
I always tell people we have that hostile summer to keep the weak ones out.
Right.
It's one way to call but in England, I mean, if you had 1,500 square foot, you're doing well.
We're doing very well.
And so you come here and there's a closet 1,500 square foot.
And no longer need to go to IKEA to buy your wardrobe.
Yes. And then, speaking about the fact that you fell into it, then you have family that you've actually brought up now in the industry, including your daughter who you're working with.
That's purely by fluke that my daughter did leave Texas. She went to Alabama. She moved back to Texas, and she's now our marketing director at Bernstein Realty.
Absolutely. I want to give a big shout out to Samantha, by the way, Samantha Bacon, and her husband, by the way, great individuals who are starting a family and doing really good there with you guys.
They have their family, and thanks to Chris, Samantha brought her first condo.
Yes, absolutely. That was a lot of fun. That was really good right there. So it's always fun to see those things. But, and that's an important part as well. There's a lot, also some relocation. There's a lot of new home buyers that I'm seeing sometimes that are coming into the market through a relocation program that have not bought before. Maybe they've been renting. How does that experience going?
We're seeing a lot of first-time buyers. We talk to them. It's a process. And in fact, I have somebody who is working as a first-time home buyer right now. He's part of the Houston Relocation Professionals. I network with him, and he called me yesterday, and he and his wife are ready to buy their first house. So we need to talk about every step. We need to talk about finding the house, which is exciting, pre-approval, so how much can we spend, and then we're going to talk about all of the steps from inspection, option periods, home warranties, everything.
Well, there's two types of relo people. People just come through directly because they're moving here from Houston, and then there's those that come through a relocation company. Talk about that process a little bit.
Well, coming through a relocation company, it's exactly the same apart from They may have the luxury of having temporary housing for 60 to 90 days. So the corporation and the third-party relocation company is assisting them with every component of their move.
And that's always interesting because, you look at it right there, the process still to buy a home is still the same. So the whole process as far as pre-approval and finding the right home and making an offer, an option period and close, all that's still the same. It's just that you're working through a third-party entity that actually is more, I guess, less assisting them in making that transition a bit easier from their home country.
Right. Basically, the way the third-party relocation companies work is they're essentially managing the whole process, and their clients are the corporations that are bringing people in and out of the city. And so they hire, companies like Mary's at Bernstein Realty to really help the transferees and their families to find housing and really just assimilate into the community.
Yeah, well, it's a different process because they have their rules, and you have to follow certain rules. They've elected certain mortgage companies, title companies to service them, and I mean
it's very rigid.
It's very rigid and a very different process. But at the end of the day, though, it helps the employee.
Absolutely.
And so, are you seeing? It used to be that the reload company, when someone was transferred, they would actually if they couldn't sell the home during a period, they would actually buy it back. But I'm seeing more people not buying them anymore, that they just wait till it sells.
Right. It really depends on the employee, the company they work for, and what kind of home sale program that they're a part of. So we're really seeing a lot of different things. I would say that that's still prevalent, but again, it depends, kind of on your ranking in the company and what kind of relocation benefits
so
you're
if you're
getting
CEO,
as a whole.
They're going to be buying your house for you.
Right. VIPs have it made for sure.
I know. Yeah, the middle. In fact, some of the middle level management stuff are not really getting great packages anymore. They're just happy to have a job in some industries.
Right.
So I've seen some of that out there. It's a whole different market, and things evolve and change on a pretty consistent basis out there.
Yep.
What else would you need?
Well, I was going to ask Mary. She was telling us you are actually a member of the Houston Relocation
Professionals.
What's that about? Talk a little bit about that.
Houston Relocation Professionals is
Organization.
It's an organization, and we have members affiliated with all types of real estate. We have mortgage, title, moving companies, real estate companies, writers.
Right. Sure.
Right.
It's
and Michelle, you're a member also?
She is.
I am a member and a former member and former president of the organization, and it's really the regional group for Worldwide ERC, which is the Employee Relocation Council. And that's probably a good segue into the fact that Worldwide ERC is actually having their first annual Americas Conference here in Houston in May, which we're very excited about, everyone in the relocation community and beyond, because obviously there's so much mobility and movement here in the Houston area. It makes a lot of sense for the organization to come here, and we're just very happy to be hosting that.
Are we seeing a lot of international people come in?
Oh yeah, always. That's never waned, really. And I think one of the things, and Mary can attest to this, we're seeing a lot of expats come back that have been away on assignment, for 1, 2, 3 years. So there's a lot of people coming back to their homes.
Yes. Well, when especially in the oil industry, when it does slow down, it's still good for Houston because they really, contract to Houston.
Right.
They've left Oklahoma and they've left Louisiana. They've
exactly.
left, and come here. So I
well,
like that.
And I think one of the things that we're dealing with right now in the local market is the fact that people are paying too much attention to the national headlines. And real estate, of course, is a local market. And that's one of the things that we continually try to educate people about who are coming in.
Not even just local, it's micro. Because you get to the Woodlands, it's one market. You get in Acadia, it's another market. You get in the Sugar Land, it's another market. So, I always say, get the local expert to help you.
Right, exactly. Well, and people don't realize, I think, how big Houston actually is till they get here. I mean, you can fit the state of New Jersey in here. So
about 600 square miles.
Yeah.
I think I saw the other day, 599. I've heard 537, but it's a lot of square miles. We're coming up against a break.
We are coming up against a break, but these two ladies are not going anywhere. We have a lot more still to talk about, by the way.
They know a lot more stuff than they're willing to tell us.
And absolutely. We're going to pry it out of them when we get back. But in the meantime, we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.